Hi guys. First of all, sorry that it's been like 3 months, but I kind of slightly have a reason for it. As you can probably read from the title, I'm pregnant with a baby number 2. I am very excited about it. I'm super excited because I think I'm finally past all the first trimester fun, and I'm back today to talk about it. Okay. So let's just address the elephant in the room. I have not filmed any videos. Well, mostly because, number one, the last time I uploaded a video was around the holiday season, aka me trying to be a vlogmas person. Not good. I don't think I'm equipped. I don't think I'm equipped, you guys. So, failed that. And then, very, very soon after, in the next month, we got pregnant, and then all the first trimester stuff was occurring, and then, you know, I just was not good with this. So I apologize, but I'm hoping, number one, I finally am feeling better, and number two, I actually have stuff that I feel passionate about and can talk about, and I know that at least I think a lot of you guys are kind of in that either stage of your life or you just enjoy watching pregnancy related videos too, like I do. It's probably one of my favorite genre of YouTube videos is just pregnancy and family related things. So I hope that you guys enjoy and that you are just ready for some videos. Hopefully I will be good about it. I have a notebook with me. I also have my phone with the app that I use because today I'm going to be talking about when I found out I was pregnant and also my 2-week wait symptoms. So the last time that I was uploading videos about pregnancy and things like that, it was with my daughter Charlie, and I didn't really do a 2-week wait video. I think I just talked about like symptoms, whatever, 4 to 8 or whatever. So I didn't really necessarily like have like a dedicated 2-week wait video. And it's so funny because even going through pregnancy for the second time, I found myself wanting to look up 2-week wait videos. And when I first found out I was pregnant, how I knew I was pregnant before I got my positive. It's like, I don't know why, but you just can't help yourself. And so I was like, well, wait, let me like just like refresh my memory about all this, you know? I wanted to be like, I wanted to make sure that I had a schedule to this video. I don't know, that I'm trying to stay on track and not go off task, okay? Because this is what happens is I just go like this, I talk too much, and I'm sorry, but it just happens. So I'm just gonna try to hope that because I wrote things down, that I will be quick, kind of. Let me just get into how we found out that I was pregnant. First time around, obviously, like everybody, like you as the woman and the wife, you wanna surprise your husband and you wanna be able to like do the cute way to tell them that they're going to be a dad, you know, all those things. You just think about it, right? Like you just are like, I know when we're pregnant, I'm gonna have this and this and we're gonna do it like that. So that's what I did with obviously my first pregnancy. I did not film this time around just because, I don't know, I guess in the back of my mind, I was like, I wonder if I should film this. Like, what if we are? But I didn't, and that's okay. So I hope, sorry, you don't care. I do not have a reaction video to being pregnant. If you want to see the one where I found out I was pregnant with Charlie, I'll put like something up there. With Charlie, it took a little bit, almost took a year. And so that one was definitely more emotional and relieving and all those emotions that you see when I find out that I am. Whereas with this one, I think it was just more funny because of the way it goes down, but also because it happened very quickly for us. So I just wasn't expecting it, if that makes sense. With this second time around, we had talked about how it would be fun if Ryan looked at the test first. Like, instead of me looking at it first and like telling him, that if he would tell me like if I was pregnant or not. And so we had said this, right? And so I remember I was like, around the time frame, I think I was like cycle day 11, maybe 12. I know when I ovulated ish, but I didn't really know like 100%, because you know, even though you do an ovulation kit, I just still feel like I don't know, was it 12 hours after, was it 24? I don't know. So I just kind of count the day that I get the positive as my day of ovulation, which probably isn't right, but see. I was like, okay babe, so I think like we can get a positive today, do you want to test? Like, come on. I've been up getting ready for work, and then I put the test in, but I cover it up. And I walk over to him because he's not out of bed yet, because, you know, it takes him like 2.25 seconds to get ready. I bring it to him and I just give it to him, and he looks at it and he's just like, yeah, I think there's 2 lines there. And I go, what? Wait. And I take it and I'm looking at him like, babe, we're pregnant. And he was like, you didn't know? Like, I thought you looked. I was like, no. He thought that I was giving it to him to like look at it to like double check me. But no, your girl kept her promise. And I let him look at it first. Needless to say, it was funny because he just thought that I had already known. He was like, yeah, I mean, there's 2 lines there. Yeah, I think I do. I see it. So anyways, found out we were pregnant, super excited. This time was just more funny, but also just like exciting because I know what it all means and what's going to happen, and it's just exciting to think about. And also it didn't take us as long, so I didn't have like as much maybe frustrations or like afraid of being let down kind of feelings yet, because it hadn't been that long at that point. So we found out on January 8th that we were pregnant. I did use ovulation tests to kind of help myself understand maybe when I'm ovulating. Just a little background, my cycle lengths are about 32 to 34 days apart, like 32 to 34 days in length. And I ovulate ranging from, I'll get a positive, right? I'll just say that. I get a positive between cycle day 16 and like 19. So I am on the later end of the typical time frame that you ovulate, but I do kind of fluctuate. So that's why I always like to test, just so that I kind of have a better idea of when it's probably going to be happening, because it is different month to month. I was doing the ovulation kit and I got a positive, actually kind of like one on the later side. I got a positive on cycle day 20, which was way later than I've ever gotten. Like, not that that's like too late, but it was on the later side. So I was like, what? Oh my gosh. I thought that maybe I had missed it, but it actually ended up being cycle day 20. So basically, just so you know, I use this for Charlie's pregnancy, but I use the Ovia app, have it here on my phone. It is awesome. The more you put into it, the more it helps. And I feel like it gives a more accurate prediction. I feel like my fertile windows, like it will give you a prediction of when your fertile windows might be. I feel like they're fairly accurate. Obviously taking a test or an ovulation test is more accurate, but it does pretty good, like when you put in as much information as you can. I got a positive on December 28th on days past ovulation. So on DPO, aka days past ovulation, on DPO 1, I remember that night, what usually happens is I'll get crampy when I'm about to ovulate, and then it just like goes away, right? Until like a day or two before I'm about to get my period. And then I'm like, oh great, here it comes. Next day, it like still had not gone away, the cramping. And again, not like period cramps, it is different. It's like lighter, right? I don't know. It's not like where you feel like you need to take Motrin or anything, but it's just there, like you can notice it. I remember that night, I just felt so constipated, and I'm not that usually. I'm pretty regular, okay? So I don't really have like issues in that department. And so when that happened, it reminded me of, well, and I was pregnant last time, because when I am pregnant, and like most women, it disrupts your bowel movements, right? It just affects it because of all the hormones and everything like that. So I was like, this feels familiar, also weird. I remember like making note of that, because I was like, this is really random. I didn't really eat anything that would make me feel this way, so it was just weird, right? And I know some people say that you can't feel symptoms like the next day, but I'm just letting you know what I experienced, okay? I watch these videos all the time, and let me just add this in. What I'm about to say and like talk about with my symptoms, you may or may not feel them. And if you don't, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're not. It's just everybody has like experiences that are either a little similar, a little different, and some people don't feel anything at all and they're pregnant. So I just want to just say that because I don't want anyone to think like, oh, I need to be feeling everything that she just felt and then I'll be pregnant. Like, that is definitely not true. It just all depends on your body, right? So just wanted to say that. DPO2, I still felt super crampy. It wasn't going away, and I can't describe it, but there's like a pressure on your abdomen, like in that area where you just feel like it's heavy, and I felt that. And I remember feeling that when I was pregnant with Charlie, and I remember being like, this is weird. And then again, I felt like that this time. This is weird. DPO3, so this was New Year's Eve, and I went for a super long walk around the neighborhood, like the longer route. There's like a shorter route we can take. I took the longer route with Charlie. It was gorgeous. It was nice and warm. It was weird. It was like, why is it this warm on New Year's Eve? And I remember I was like halfway through and I all of a sudden like seriously had to stop walking because my right hip, like deep hip, hurt so bad. And I remember this, it felt like the hip pain that I remember experiencing halfway through my pregnancy and on with Charlie. Like my hips ached so bad, and like I would wake up and they would be hurting so much. And so it just felt all too familiar. And I remember being like, what the heck? Like I literally took a walk like this a few days ago and was completely fine. So I just thought that was weird. Like I was like, oh my gosh, wait, something happening. Why is my body doing this right now? Totally unrelated, but I'm just saying it was weird. DPO4, so it was New Year's Day. I would just remember saying I was like super, super tired. But again, I was like, well, it's New Year's Day. Like I just stayed up really late. So that probably is what it was. DPO5, I want to read from my phone, and it was January 2nd. I was teaching, obviously, first day back from being on break, and I felt it was so weird. Did I say I was DPO5? Yes. 3 o'clock, exactly. I wrote it down because I was like, wow. I felt a pretty sharp burning cramp in like the middle of my left side of my uterus. And then I was like, possible implantation starting? Question mark. Excited mark. And I just distinctly remember it was like 2 or 3 pulses, and it was pretty sharp, and it was every single time in the same spot, right? So I was like, it's kind of almost around that time frame where it could happen. Weird. And the very next day, I was taking a shower in the morning, and I remember I was like just washing my body, went over my chest, and I remember being like, ow, that hurts. This never hurts. Oh my gosh, you know, like you just start having things like starting to happen, and then they're all kind of correlated, and you're like, what? No. What? Yeah, could be. During the afternoon, like I'm like a kindergarten teacher, so like I'm bending over, trying to help kids, and I remember my boobs just felt super heavy, and it like hurt to like bend over. I know that sounds weird, but they just were starting to be really sore and like tender and felt heavy. Now it's cycle day 6, cycle day 6 or 7. One of those. The last time I was pregnant with Charlie, I remember my pee smelling really weird. And this day I remember my pee just smelled super weird. And then I felt that same pinching, burning feeling, and it was in the exact same spot. I just remember it happening even at like the same time of the day, 3 o'clock. It was weird. And it's like those 3 pulses of like, I don't know. It was very specific, and it was like the same spot. So I was like, is this implantation? I obviously, I guess it was. I kind of was still feeling cramp. So like go for like the next 3 or 4 days, still was feeling cramping, still was feeling that tightness in my, my abdomen. I just kind of felt like, my boobs were sore. I felt out of breath. And then the day before I got my positive, and I believe I was either like, 10 to 11 DPO. I had a dream that night where I took a test and it was positive. And then when I texted my sister, I was like, oh my gosh, I just had a dream that I had a positive pregnancy test. And she was like, Jordan, I'm not even kidding. I literally just had a dream about you and that you were around everybody and you had a positive pregnancy test. And I remember being like, are you serious? And so then the next day is when I tested and that we found out that we were pregnant. And so it was wild. And you know what's so weird is that being pregnant the second time around, and I'm sure if you are someone who is currently pregnant for the second, third, fourth time, I feel like you just, when you're first pregnant for the very first time, you're just experiencing everything new, right? Like you just don't know what to expect, you know? And so it's all new and different and you just don't know what's normal and, you know, all that. And being pregnant again and going through everything is just so different because I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. Oh yeah, this feels the same. This feels different. And it's been pretty crazy to just experience it for the second time. I feel so lucky, but it's just so interesting to go through it again. That is all for my video today. I hope that you liked it. Cannot believe that we're pregnant and I'm so excited. And oh yeah, didn't even say it, we are due in September. If you do not follow me on Instagram, please go follow me on there. I really haven't been active on there that well over the past few months just because I've been feeling but I'm trying to, now that it's out in the open and everyone knows now that I'm pregnant, I can feel like I cannot hide anything. So I'm hoping that I can be more active on here on YouTube as well as Instagram, like social media and stuff. So yeah, go follow me on there and leave me a comment down below if you're expecting, if it's your first pregnancy, your second pregnancy, what's been the same, what's been different. I will see you guys in my next video and I'll talk to you soon.